This is our chance. We've got about 15 minutes for questions. And we've got a wonderful group here, 3 energy champions and 2 experts in remote power solutions for mines. Just before we get started, Doug, I might ask you if you wouldn't mind just introducing Zenith, recently publicly listed IPP, just so the audience has the background.
It's on already. Yeah, thank you. Zenith Energy is recently public listed. 6 weeks ago, we morphed out of a company that myself and my fellow shareholder, Gavin Great, founded some 10, 11 years ago, Zenith Pacific, which I'm sure a lot of people in this room are very familiar with, amongst colleagues. We are an independent power producer. We design, construct, own and operate our power assets throughout Australia and Asia Pacific. We have a considerable number of projects as we speak, and we're delighted to be associated with Independence Group in the Nova project. And we're looking at integrating a 6 megawatt AC PV farm into our diesel power station, as Keith presented.
Thanks a lot, Doug. So, any questions for our presenters?
I just had a question on the diesel prices used in the various presentations. Sam, I think you mentioned you included transport costs in your thinking, but the numbers used seem quite low from our experience, so I just was surprised. Can you comment whether that's fully delivered costs or whether you're accounting for fully delivered costs? Because both in the IGO presentation and the AB presentation, they just seem low.
I don't know anything about diesel, sorry.
So when choosing prices for the purposes of making these sorts of presentations, I guess we elected to use the Perth diesel price, Perth terminal diesel price. Now, clearly the price that you would actually receive on site would vary, but just as a point of reference, that's the number we used.
Thanks, Keith. Just to add to that, the diesel pricing that we've used in the model is at the mine site gate price minus the diesel rebate as well, which is why the diesel price may appear low, as it's sort of financially taken into consideration the diesel rebates.
Yeah, same. So we just show the sensitivities, but yeah, the key is obviously have it delivered price, and in Australia, obviously we've got the rebate we have to take into account. So that part, is always a question of, how and where you account for it. But fundamentally, we use the same assumptions.
Michael Scott and Rio Tinto. Thanks for sharing all the information on your projects and the development there. And there was a good, discussion there around the impacts of diesel price. I wondered if the panellists could comment about the role of LGCs and the price volatility that those instruments have had in terms of how that might have impacted the economics of your projects.
Yeah, I'll comment on that. Thanks, Mike. The LGCs are an important commercial consideration, obviously, in the economic business case. Certainly it is in the case of our Nova project. We have to, obviously, diesel prices sensitivity and LGC price sensitivity is some of the, less known commodities within the business case. So they are important. We hope they are go into the future consistently having good value.
So maybe just the comment from our side as well. Again, what assumptions we made. Obviously, you saw we did those modelings based on US dollar prices. So it's really for a global view as well. So for Australia, looking at the certificate cost, we didn't take those into account, but it's there obviously to offset some of the lower fuel prices. For instance, it would definitely help, and as we now help to push again those business cases to come up with higher installed PV configurations rather than just having to do a very small at the beginning. So yeah, they obviously help, and hopefully from a price point of view, they stabilize, in order to be able to bank on them going forward.
Yes, thank you for those presentations. Gus Nathan from the University of Adelaide. Samantha, my question is to you. I wonder if you could please comment on the fraction of the energy in the roasting process that you expect to achieve with the 540 degrees C, firstly, generally, and secondly, when you account for the variability of the process. Thank you.
Well, all I really know is that we need to get to 1,000 degrees for 2 hours. 1,000 degrees for 2 hours. So apparently we can get to 540 with the concentrated solar, and then I don't really know how we get the next bit. Vince said gas, my boss. So, but then he did say that the pipeline was quite a long way away. So that's a bit of a puzzle. I can find out and get back to you though, and I do apologise.
Hi, I'm Jim Lang. I am talking on behalf of a green energy biomass project. I was quite intrigued to know that none of you have spoken about what I understand they call a virtual gas pipeline, which is transportable gas. I would have thought that would have suited the Garnet mine quite well. Has that been considered?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Jim. We did look at the virtual gas pipeline originally as part of the energy studies for both the the on-site power generation and the dryer that we do run. Initial discussions we had looked at a 5-year take-or-pay agreement, and that's something that we looked at the time as not being, I suppose, a risk that the company was willing to enter into, just given the uncertainty of the market and the mine, the power demands at the time. So they have taken the approach of looking at the installed capital cost, taking that on board for the renewables instead. Obviously the financials, I think, worked out a little better for that, and the risk profile may have been less for that as well. So the short answer is yes, we did look at that, but just due to the policies or preferences of the client themselves, they were looking into being owner-operator, or at least owner of the assets of the mine site, and looking at the longer-term take-or-pay agreements didn't sort of sit well with some of the management. So it's basically the short answer to that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll comment as well, Mike. It's horses for courses, and I know we looked at Nova Project. We looked at different fuel sources, and LNG was front and centre. And as Mike points out, there are certain liabilities, contingent liabilities that come with contracting. And in this case, Sirius Resources, Nova Nickel, Independence Group, my apologies, felt they wanted to get this project up with a known fuel source, known price, and without any particular ongoing liabilities. However, it didn't necessarily preclude the fact that we could change to a potential gas supply at a later stage. And so we've got a power station that can be converted to dual fuel should the economics and the supply contractual arrangements be advantageous to Independence Group. But we also operate power stations, some of our power stations with liquefied natural gas, and it's certainly probably something that we're going to be doing more of as our friends on the North West Shelf perhaps open up markets.
So just to add to that, in pursuing these sorts of projects, we're always looking at our options, and it is the case, as already mentioned, that we'll continue to look at the economics of both building an actual pipeline and or employing a virtual one as time goes forward. But right here, right now, the options that we've selected still look the best.
Florent Hitten from Rio Tinto. Just a quick question for Jorgen. Thanks for the presentation, and I thought it was a very good analysis of the different options and sensitivities. Do you have anything similar or any case studies of displacing gas instead of displacing diesel, and is it viable as well?
So we picked diesel because it usually presents the better value proposition. But we've done other site-specific analysis for other customers using gas as well. So it will depend if it's then truck gas, obviously, or if it's gas that comes in via the pipeline. But the fundamentals behind is just the same: how you integrate it and how you work with it. Gas engines may be slightly different in regards to their response times and so forth, or if we go one step higher, gas turbines, again, different operating ranges, but the fundamentals behind are the same, and the way we apply it from a modeling and business analysis point of view, the method and the process is the same as well. So very much, consistency. It just depends what the incumbent, what the existing site is that we work with, and we'll put that in the model and run it through.
I think as where we are on the cost curve at the moment with our fuels, whether it's compressed gas, liquid gas, or pipeline gas, where we are our cost curve with our renewables, obviously diesel's a more expensive fuel, and so the economics work better at the moment on that. But where we're going, we will certainly be challenging, I'm sure, as an industry, we'll be certainly challenging liquid fuel, liquid gas and natural gas in the future.
Jeff Roper from Ingot Team. Mike, do you want to comment on your mine life and the fact that you might end up with a stranded asset with your wind generators?
The mine life that we see at the moment is quite long. I can't sort of comment in terms of years just due to the nature of our sort of probable and proven resources and reserves respectively. At the moment we are focusing on a 20-year mine life, and that's what our economic modelling has been done on, and as we do see from some of the exploration drilling that has been done historically and has been repeated by Australian Garnet more recently shows that the stranded deposit does extend quite a long way north, and therefore again sort of further supports the idea that the mine will continue to move further from the processing plant and in the future require more pumping energy to get there and back. So in some respect the mine life is quite long. It does extend further from the plant, and in some respects supports the decision to go with a renewable hybrid solution that way. Thanks.
Okay. Can you please join me in giving a round of applause to these presenters?